When he does come back, which is a good 6 month hiatus, I believe, he returns in April 2019. And that's when we see his craziest iteration of all, because he doesn't return as Bray Wyatt, which would be the easy thing to do. He returns as this new version of Bray Wyatt, this sanitized, friendly version of Bray Wyatt, this childlike TV host, and we see the Firefly Funhouse for the first time. What did you think of that when you first saw the Funhouse?
That was crazy. It reminded me of Mr. Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, if you remember that as a
Yep.
kid. But yeah, it was like this portrayed of this wholesome character, and but all these characters he had, was it Mercy the Buzzard paying tribute to Waylon Mercy, and Sister Abigail, and all these different characters he had in there. But one thing about Bray was, I think, from day one when he's been working in WWE, when he's been developing his characters, he was really good at what they call leaving breadcrumbs and stuff to kind of lead you down a trail. And that's what he had been doing all this time. Like, everything had a meaning with this guy, even, to the sign above, the door that he had in this Firefly Funhouse. To the things he used to say, how the picture used to break, and he would come up with these gloves, hurt and heal, and it was something totally. It was, again, refreshing because the product was so stale.
Yeah.
I obviously had given up on the main roster by this time. I wasn't watching it. I was only tuning into pay-per-views, if that. I was always tuning into what Bray was doing. So every time we knew Bray had something good, and again, a different new idea, and you were just curious to see, okay, what is he going to do this time? So yeah, what a brilliant idea to come up with. He had to, otherwise I'm sure they would have released him probably at that time, unless he came up with a new idea.
It is incredible, and it's like an earworm you can't get out of your head for Firefly Funhouse theme. And obviously it's all leading up to the introduction of the Fiend, this monstrous new alter ego, which takes Bray Wyatt to a whole new level and works so well because we've seen him in this kind of happy, wavy, friendly way. And so suddenly the Fiend is so powerful. And I remember watching SummerSlam 2019, which wasn't a great show, but I remember his debut against Finn Balor and the squash match and how he does the kind of a neck breaking move. I was just like, this is like
crazy.
Probably the most intense match I can remember, with all the kind of gimmicks and stuff on it, since when Kane debuted and they did the similar red glow on the ring, and he had his match with Mankind at Survivor Series 97, which everyone forgets about because of a certain other match at Survivor Series 97. But it had that similar energy to it, so much of Kane to it, and completely unstoppable monster. So when he goes in to face Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia for the WWE Universal Championship, you kind of have to ask the question, like, how can he possibly not win? But it also seems crazy that he would win, because these Saudi shows are very new, and until this point they have really been little more than very glorified large house shows with lots of fireworks. Like, nothing's really happened at them. That, you might have crowned a greatest Royal Rumble winner, but that meant nothing. They've just been a way to bring back Shawn Michaels or bring back Kane. They've just been big stadium super shows. So you kind of already had got indoctrinated with this fact that nothing would happen on them. But at Crown Jewel 2019, something does happen, and we close the show with the Fiend of all people becoming WWE Universal Champion. Did that shock you at the time?
No, it didn't, because this was the only result. This was the rightful result and only result, because you've built him up so strong. He is this monster, unstoppable monster. He squashed a world champion, in Finn Balor. And now he's going up against Seth. I don't know about you, but I didn't enjoy the lighting in his matches, the red lighting. I wasn't a fan of that. I feel like it took away from his character more than giving his character, because I think his character itself, the mask, the outfit, he looked like this crazy clown, this sadistic character. So I think that light kind of took it away, and a lot of the action you couldn't really, the intensity took away that intensity as well.
Mm.
So I hated this red light palaver. To be honest, I wasn't a fan of it. But him beating Seth, again, huge shocker, because these events in Saudi Arabia was just to appease the organizers probably in those early days. But for Fiend to win the world title at this event, I was a little bit shocked. Like, oh my God, they've done it. But I was happy that it was the rightful thing. Not so much happy what happens on the next event. We're going to talk about it, but this was the right one.
We'll come to that in a second. But on the lighting, yeah, I agree. I thought it worked really well for the SummerSlam 2019 match. I think they have the lighting for that one. I can't remember if they do or not. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
it's the normal lighting in that match.
Oh, it was a
Finn
normal
Balor.
match. Okay.
Normal.
So yeah, but I like the idea of it the same as I liked it when Kane had it. I think the problem is the live audiences can't really see, and therein lies the problem. I've talked to you about this before, but I fell foul of lighting issues at WrestleMania 40, which meant that we missed a good section of the second night of the show because we had a bright light shining around the stadium and we physically couldn't see, and it sucks the soul out of the crowd. And I think with those Bray Wyatt, Fiend matches, I think people genuinely didn't know what was going on in the ring. And so I get it. It's just a bit, as a viewer, it's uncomfortable to watch. But equally, the product was very, very stale. At least something different was happening, and he was very different. I mean, I wasn't over the moon when the Fiend became world champion, because whilst I appreciate the creativity of the character, it wasn't really my cup of tea. Whereas Bray Wyatt, I adored as a character. The Fiend wasn't really for me, but I respected the creativity of it, but I was much more of a Bray Wyatt man.